Today we're talking about the mindset behind success and freedom. When I started my business back in 2018, 2019, I focused a whole lot on the mindset, with rightfully so. It's what I was doing for myself to get me to a better place. And then I moved more into the energetic work, which is the magic. And then I learned about emotions, and then it went into identity. And all of these pieces are key. They really, really are. But we're going to circle back around to the mindset today, because I've had quite a few client calls lately where this subject has come up over and over and over again. Not my clients are going, I need to work on my mindset. It's not like that, is it? But it is things that are key to what's happening in the mind and how we can start to transmute it to the level of energy that we want to create our successful life. So we're going to talk today about the mindset to success and freedom. This is going to be so juicy for you because it is right in front of you. You have access to it today. There is no 10 years down the road you can get it. It's literally right in front of you. So we're going to talk about it today. So there's three main points I'm going to talk to you about today when it comes to the mindset. Everything that we talk about today, I want you to really take into consideration, are you actually doing this? Are you actually doing it? Okay? Because a lot of times what happens, and I start all of my programs out like this, a lot of times what happens, we hear something, and because we've heard it, we go, I know that. Do you know what happens when you say, I know? Zoop! It's like it stayed in the mind. It never got taken down into the body for embodiment. And embodiment is where it actually starts changing our reality. It's the only place it changes our reality. So you could know things for days. You could know so much it's bleeding out of your eyeballs. But if you have not learned to apply it to your life, to embody it, it doesn't matter. You're going to be looping in the same reality over and over and over again. So the things that we think we know is fantastic. It's fantastic that we know so much, but are you actually living what you know to be true? That's what we've got to really, really talk about. So embodiment is when I'm taking things from the mind and I'm actually actively applying them to my life. This is when my whole life changed. There was a moment, I remember it so clearly. There was a moment back in 2017. Yeah, we're going back like, what is that? 7 years? 6 years? 7 years. God bless. Math in the morning. 2017, I was listening to all of this personal development stuff, how to make your life better, all of that. I've had spirituality in my life, my whole life, like that connection to like the divine. I'm supported, I'm loved, all of that. But I really started getting into personal development. And there was a moment where I had been listening to it, I had been hearing it, and I was like, oh, that feels good. Yes, I like that. That sounds good, blah, 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 all of this stuff. But then I would go to work and it would go out the window. Like, wouldn't even think about it. And then one day I had this moment where I was in the middle of my day and I had one of the teachings that I had been listening to went zoop right to the front of my mind. And I had this aha moment. Oh my God, I can apply that to my life right now. I can start actively doing those things that I've been listening to right now. Well, that was the moment that completely changed everything. No exaggeration. Because from that moment on, I started to embody, I started to act on the things that I had been learning. And my life changed lightning fast. Lightning fast. Things just started falling into place. Things started happening in a way that I never could have explained them happening. And the reason for this is, and we explain this in the Spiritual Coach Training Program in depth, the reason for this is your identity is the center of your embodiment. When your identity shifts, everything shifts, because everything in your current reality is confirming who you believe you are and what you believe is possible for you. Did you guys hear that? Because that's huge. Who you believe you are and what you believe is possible for you. Your reality is constantly confirming your identity. You can write that down. That's a little freebie for you that could really seriously change your life. Your manifested reality is confirming your identity all the time. It can't not. Do you feel me on this? It can't not confirm it. So once you start acting on the things you learn of how to improve your life, it starts to change your identity. Once you shift your identity, here's the key. You can't take action that's not in alignment with it anymore. You have to take action in alignment with who you believe you are and what you believe is possible for you. So our first key step in that is to change the way I'm thinking. Amen. And then to take the things that I'm thinking and start to change the actions I'm taking. And as you change the actions you're taking, it's going to shift your identity. And as you shift your identity, everything in your world has to confirm your identity. It's the mechanism of how it all works. Okay, so today we're talking about the mind, though, because the mind is the first key component in this whole transformational shift. And there's three main things that you've got to really, really buy into. You've got to buy into if you want it to do anything for you. Now, first and foremost, you've heard it 1,000 times, but the first thing is you've got to believe that the things that you want for your life are meant for you. They are meant for you. I distinctly remember having a conversation with a client who confessed her dream to me, okay? And I say confessed because you might be able to relate to this. Her family, her boyfriend at the time, all told her, you're crazy, you need to let that go. What are you even doing with that? They had all just kind of shamed her down to not even talk about her dream anymore. And so when I came into her life, she confessed her dream to me. And I said, amazing, cool, let's do it. And she was like, what? Because no one had ever confirmed their belief in her. And so I was like, yeah, why wouldn't we do that? And she was like, she had a dream. Everyone around her told her she's nuts. And then she dared to confess it to one more person who said, let's go. Let's go. Okay. So in that, there is a belief that you have to know that the thing that you crave the most in your life, that dream that makes your belly just have the butterflies inside, that vision that you have to believe that you have that vision because you are meant for it. You have to believe that. Now here, I'm going to really challenge you on this to really click it in. Why do you have that vision otherwise? Why would you have the vision otherwise? Nobody else has it. Nobody that exists on this planet has the exact same dream that you do. You think it's random? You feel me on this? You have to believe that what you want to create, the vision you see for your life and for yourself, is meant for you to create and go after. Now, we're going to take it a step further, and I'm going to tell you why it is absolutely meant for you. The vision that you have in your mind is your soul programming that you chose so that you would go on a journey of growth that you needed to go on. The dream, the vision, the goal is literally the excuse for the journey. It's the excuse for I'm going to go after that, and I'm going to have the experience of life that going after that is going to create. And I'm also going to experience the challenges, the soul growth lessons. I'm going to meet the people. I'm going to have the opportunities. I'm going to have all the components that go with that dream vision because my soul chose that so that I could have the experience of life, the blueprint that I chose in order to get the lessons, to get the growth, to get the love, to meet the people, and to create the impact. The impact that I am supposed to create. Your vision is not only just what you want, it is quite literally your responsibility. Because if you don't bring it to life, no one will. And if you don't bring it to life, then everyone who needed you and needed that creation in order for them to fulfill their soul blueprint will not get it. Yeah, pressure's on. Pressure's on. So you've got to stop playing this little like mamby-pamby kind of game that says like, well, I have this vision, but I'm not good enough for it. Then who is? Because it's your vision. So you want somebody else to create your vision? Well, it's impossible because nobody lives inside of you. You have to carry it out. It is your responsibility. Okay, did I get you bought in? You bought in on your vision is yours and you have to believe in it and you have to create it and it's your responsibility. Click in the comments. Okay, number 2 is that you are always going to have a voice in your head that is telling you you can't. Okay, we're like, what is this setup? Who created this game? Why? So the voice in our head that constantly says, you're not good enough for that. Who are you to think you could do that? Why do you think that you have the skills to do this? Blah, blah, blah. That is the ego voice. Blessings. We love the ego. We don't. The ego, here's how I want you to position your ego. Your ego, think of it like a computer program. It's constantly running the same program. Now you can know this because you have had that exact same voice running its mouth it's your entire life. Situations change, circumstances change, people in your life change, it remains the same. Same voice, same story, same mechanism running its game. Okay, so why? Because it is your challenger to overcome, to grow your soul. Now I'm going to ask you this. Have you ever worked out with no resistance at all and then still built muscle? The resistance is necessary for you to grow who you are in order to achieve the vision. So the ego is actually your friend. I know. It's a sneaky little, but it is actually your friend because you need that resistance so that you can strengthen who you are. So whatever the voice of the ego says to you, the opposite of it is actually the truth. But your part in that is you have to choose it. And a lot of times, this is what we do instead. 100% of people do this instead, and it's the problem. We buy into the ego voice that says you can't and you're not enough. But instead of just retracting our power from the ego voice and calling bullshit on it and then pursuing what we know to be true, instead of that, what we do is we try to fix ourselves and fix our situation to appease the voice. We try to become enough. We try to manipulate how we look so that we can become pretty enough. We try to get all of the accolades and the achievements so that we can become worthy enough. We try to change who we are and get things so that we can appease that voice that says we're not enough and we can feel better. Does it work? No. No, because that voice is a program and it's going to keep running no matter what you have. It's going to constantly betray you. It's going to say like, well, yeah, you did get all of that, but it's not good enough though. God bless it. Okay, you can't appease the voice. You write it down. You cannot appease the voice. Stop trying. Stop trying to appease that not enough voice. You have to extract your energy from it. Because the great irony and the beauty of it is that it only has the power you give it. It's not true. It's sneaky. I mean, it's sneaky. It's going to have you buying into some stuff. But you have to know it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. It's not true. And again, you can see that it's not true because it's the same story running constantly all the time, no matter what is happening in your life. You feel me on that? So you have to pull your power from it, because your power is the only power it has. It has no control over you. It only has the control that you give it. So you pull it back. When you hear the story, you hear the program, you got to call bullshit on it. And then you've got to put all of that energy into what it is that you know is true for you, which is the opposite of what this voice is saying. So if the voice is like, you're not worthy of that, you're not deserving of that, nobody loves you, blah, 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 the actual truth is the polar opposite. And the polar opposite is you're more worthy than you could have ever known. You're more deserving than you can even define. And you are more loved than you could ever imagine. That's the actual truth. You feel it, right? Do you feel it when I said it? Soul knows truth. So that's the actual truth. You have to buy into it. You feel me on that? You have to buy into the truth, and you have to stop giving your power to the non-truth. And only you can do that. Nobody can do that for you. You could achieve all the live long day. The voice isn't going to go away. You have to extract your power, and you've got to put it where it's going to serve you. That's your job. Got it? Click, click. Okay. And then the last piece, and this is probably my favorite one. I mean, the other ones are good and they're necessary, but they're like foundation. You know what I mean? Like, we're not getting anywhere without that. The last piece is you are always given the pieces you need to build what you're meant to build. You are always given the pieces you need to build what you need to build for anything. Anything you want to create, you literally right in front of you right now, you have the pieces you need. Okay, but look, I'm going to show you how this all connects. But if you don't believe that what you want to create is possible for you, you won't see it. If you buy into the voice that says you're not enough, you're not going to see the pieces you need, because you're so hung up on this voice saying, well, you've got to go out and get things that aren't even available to you, and then you'll be worthy of creating this. Say what? Like, that's just a formula to stay stuck. How is that? How does that work? There's no logic. No logic, ego. Sit down. Be quiet, right? You are always given the pieces you need to build what you're meant to build. So one of the things I used to always say to my clients that were really struggling with the not enough, they say, I feel like I'm not enough for that big vision. And my answer was always, you're not. You're not. Because you have to go on the journey towards it. The point of the journey is to create the level of strength and power you need inside of you to be enough for it. So you're not enough for the big vision yet, but you are enough for the journey. You are enough to take that first step. You are enough to take the next step. You are enough to begin. And that journey is going to build your light. It's going to strengthen you. It's going to shift your identity. It's going to change who you are. And then you're going to keep going. And then all of a sudden, whoa, vision is all around you. And you're going to be like, oh, holy shit. Look at that. Did it faster than I thought I could do it. And there it is. But again, basics, foundation. You got to believe in it. You got to buy into it. You got to stop giving power to the ego voice. And then you've got to start looking for the pieces that are right in front of you right now. So in example, you've probably all heard this metaphor before, but I'm going to say it because I love it. The metaphor is you're sitting there asking God for the chocolate cake. You're like, I want a chocolate cake, God. I want a chocolate cake. And right in front of you, God has put every ingredient you need to make the chocolate cake. But you don't see the chocolate cake. And you're like, God is failing me. I'm not enough. I'm not worthy. Nobody wants me to have chocolate cake. Woe is me. Meanwhile, every ingredient you need was right in front of you to make that chocolate cake. It is the same way with every single thing that we want for our lives. We sit there and we go, but it's not here. I keep trying to manifest it. I keep trying to think good thoughts about it, but it's not here. It's not here. It's not here. It's not here. And we just keep ourselves stuck there. instead of being the resilient beings we are, realizing that every piece for what you need to create that vision is right here, right now. Every piece you need is right in front of you. So you've got to start asking yourself, what is available to me right now that I can use to start walking that path towards what I want? I'm giving you the formula for gold today. The formula for gold today. What do I have available to me that's right in front of me that I can do? No problems, no stress, no putting myself in a state of lack or scarcity or any of that. What is right in front of me that I can do? So I have a lot of clients. You're on fire today. Woo! I have a lot of clients who come to me because they want to start a business online. All the power to you. That's the way of the world now, right? And I have a lot that want to do similar to what I do, or they have something that they really believe in, be it like wellness, fitness, Ayurveda, coaching in the spiritual level, or the mindset coach, whatever it is that they want to do. They come to me and they want to do this thing, okay? And they've got the stories. They got the not enough. They've got the I know this stuff, but I don't have, a PhD, blah, 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 all of this stuff, right? But they can see what they want to create. And they're like, but I don't have fancy funnels. I don't have a website. I don't have a following. I don't have a big audience. All of these things. Okay, but you want this business, right? Yeah, okay. So what do you have? You got time. You got creative ideas. You got a cell phone. You got access to free social media to build your audience clientele. And you can create a PayPal account to start getting paid. Everything right in front of you, right there. Are you going to choose to continue to believe in the ego voice that says you're not big enough, you're not good enough, you're not whatever enough for that big vision? Or are you going to look and see all the ingredients to the chocolate cake right in front of you and start utilizing them? Stop buying into the voice. Nobody's going to buy from me. Nobody knows me. Well, how do people get to know you? You got to start telling the world how great you are. You've got to start putting your expertise out there. You got to start creating so that people do know, that people do buy into you. For my people out there who want to do this and to start a business, I'm going to give you the mentality that I had when I first started. And I still come back to it all the time because my audience isn't huge yet. It's not huge, but I've been in business for 6 years, killing it. Okay? Just putting that out there. My mentality when I first began, number one, I was unwilling to work for free or to charge very minimal prices. I was unwilling to do that because I knew that the work that I had in my back pocket really worked. I knew that the skill set that I had, the understanding that I had, the tools that I had really worked because I was my own best client. I knew that this work worked. And I was not going to work my way up in my own business. I was not doing that. So the mentality I had when I first came on into the social media world, the only people that were my audience were Facebook friends from high school that I don't even talk to in my family. Okay, that's it. I decided when people find me and they find my videos and they find my content, they're not going to think, oh, this girl is new. They're gonna think, how am I just finding her now? This is amazing. How am I just finding her? This is incredible. This is so good. This is so helpful. That was my mentality. And I come back to it all the time because I'm human. You know what I mean? I have the same ego voice that's running all the time. But we have to choose what we're going to believe in order to create what we want to create. We have to choose it. You can't buy into all this nonsense out here. You've got to choose what you want your experience of reality to be. Now, get this. I can't tell you. I've told that story before. I can't tell you how many of my clients thereafter told me That's exactly what I thought when I found you. That's exactly what I thought. I didn't think you were new. I thought, how am I just finding this girl now? Because what you believe in creates your reality. Like, let's go. Okay. So, to recap, you gotta believe. You gotta believe your vision is yours and it's for you. And you have to take that responsibility. Like, truly, you have to take the responsibility for your vision. Because it's not random. It's not on accident. Your vision is a key part of the big grand puzzle, and other people need you. They need you to do your job so that they can awaken to theirs. You have to. You see what I'm saying? You have to. So you've got to take responsibility for your vision. You've got to believe that you're meant to create it. And not only that, like, the whole point of it is so that you can go on this amazing life journey that you actually want to go on. Like, we are not made to just like suffer, pay bills, and die. Who came up with that? You know what I mean? Okay. And then number 2, you're going to have an ego voice that is never going to go away. Make your peace with it. Make your peace with it. It's never going to go away. Your job is to not give it power. And then you've got to put power in what you want to be true. You got to put power in believing in you. Oh, I rhymed. You got to put power where power is going to serve you. Don't put it in the ego. Don't put it in the ego. That's your job. Nobody can do that for you. And then the last piece is you are always given the pieces you need to go on the journey that you need to go on to create the thing. You are never without. You are never in lack. Never, ever, ever. You always have the pieces right in front of you, but you've got to be looking for it. Because if you're sitting there looking for the big manifested end result and you haven't even started on the journey yet, well, you're just going to sit here forever. Because you've got to look for the pieces that you have available to you right now with ease, no problem, and start putting them together. And there's going to be resistance with that. There's going to be resistance with that because you're going to be entering into a new realm. You're going to be transforming your identity. So I point here because solar plexus is where your identity is. You're going to be transforming literally who you believe you are. The ego doesn't like that, and it's going to fight against you. You, again, have to choose where you put your power. You're going to start changing who you are. Not the like best parts. You're going to keep the best parts of who you are, but you are going to start to shift in the way that you see yourself. You're going to shift in the way that you be. You're going to shift in how you show up. Like, this version of me is not the version of me back in 2017, but 2017 started on the journey to become this version of me. And it's going to keep happening because you're always going to have a bigger version of that expansion of dream that you want to create. And you're going to have to go on that journey again. Your vision of what you can see is minuscule to what it actually is. Minuscule to what it actually is. I just wanted time and money freedom doing something that mattered. Like, that was my motivation. I was like, I don't want somebody telling me when to be at work and how. I could not fathom why or how I had to be in a building from 9 to 5. I was like, I just couldn't fathom it. I did it, but it was like, I don't get this model, right? I wanted to be able to do what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. So that's time and money freedom. And I wanted to do something that I felt like really mattered. Like, really, really mattered. Was going to make a difference in this world. My Excel sheet for inventory and pricing was not changing the world in my corporate job, right? I did meet some amazing people, though, and that was great. You get my point. I wanted to do something that freedom. I didn't know that I was going to meet my husband, the light of my life. I didn't know I was going to become a stepmom. I didn't know that we were going to travel the whole country in a camper van during COVID. I didn't know we were going to go to Italy for our honeymoon, that I was going to have a retreat in Turks and Caicos, that I was going to go to Mexico. I didn't know all that was going to happen. It's going to be so much better than even you can imagine. But you got to go after it. You got to believe in it. Click, click. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, so we've got to put a little promo plug in here because 'tis the season The Spiritual Coach Training Program is open for early enrollment. Early enrollment means you get bonuses, but you've got to be on the wait list. So for those of you who don't know, the Spiritual Coach Training Program is my 6-month training. It's basically a certification. It's a 6-month training program that teaches you this mindset work, the energetic work, the identity work, the emotional healing work, so that you can create a business of service and impact that matters if that's what you feel called to. If you feel called to helping other people to transform their mind, to shift their energy, to heal at the emotional level, and ultimately shift their identity, this program teaches you exactly how to do that. So if you've had that imposter syndrome where you're like, I want to coach, I want to help people, but I don't know how beyond accountability or motivation or just telling them what to do, this program is so much deeper. This is about how to create that true transformation for your people. So if you're interested in learning this work, you want to come and sign up for the wait list, because right now the early enrollment is open to the wait list only. And you're going to get the best of the everything because you're on the wait list. Like, you're going to get stuff that other people won't get. Hint, hint. So if you want to be on that, the link is in my bio. Or you can message me directly. I'll put it in the show notes below if you want to come and be on the wait list. The wait list bonuses expire next Friday, September 13th. So get in there before then, because that's when you're going to get the absolute best of the best of everything. And you get to change your life. Oh my gosh. Whole new career trajectory, whole new understanding of how the mind and the body and the energy and the identity works. It will completely transform you. That is the number one feedback I have gotten from the people who have gone through the program. They were like, I knew that I was going to learn a lot, but I had no idea how much it was going to change me. That they went through their own transformation just through going through and learning this content. It's really powerful. It really, really is. And I'm very excited about it. Okay, I'm going to go. I love you guys so much. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Look for your ingredients to your dream. Go after it. If you want to work with me, just send me a message and we'll work it all out. I love you. Have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Bye, loves.